Hello and good night, good day, wherever you are in the world. I hope you're doing well, and thank you for joining me on this special little episode of CKG as we look into Twitter and see some of the craziest things ever. So, Down Topic has asked who would win between LeBron James with 2 years of training versus a prime Mike Tyson. I would like to say it's an interesting matchup, but I absolutely do not believe it would be interesting. It would be very one sided. And I think you know who would win in common sense because a professionally trained fighter who was trained since a young boy versus LeBron James with 2 years of training. Yeah, let's go into the comment section and see some of the responses before I give you my take on this. LeBron is bigger and stronger, so if he practices easily LeBron. Wow, that's a level of delusion. Prime LeBron destroys Prime Mike. Not close. Wow. Space Jam. Yep. LeBron, stop saying Mike. LeBron is 250, 6'9", and Mike is 5'10". 2 years, all facts. All these old heads think they know what they're talking about. LeBron would slump Mike on his first swing. Wow. Yep, beautiful. That person is completely correct. That's what Prime Mike Tyson did. And obviously, we have other people here supported Mike. Um, Interesting comments to say the least. And the same LeBron that needs load management flops at any given moment and barely plays defense. Mike would easily destroy him. Interesting. LeBron is 6'7", fought fighters, and he easily got inside a nightmare of them. Name one of these six that weren't washed up or on Don King's payroll that Tyson did. Mitch Green, Bone Crusher Smith all tied him up and controlled him easily. Hmm. If I remember correctly, Mitch Green got a beating in that fight. Bone Crusher Smith too was basically holding on for dear life because I remember the fight going quite like this. When I watched the fight, now I was not around at that time. I watched the ESPN Classics, and I pretty much remember Mike Tyson pummeling Bone Crusher and Bone Crusher holding on because this is how those fights went with A Prime Mike Tyson. Um, let's see Mitch Green because I also remember Mitch Green having a huge swelling in his eye, and yeah, this is him after the fight. Yeah, this is Mitch Green after the fight. But I was there in the streets. I can't remember. But yeah, this is this is Mike Tyson absolutely just demolishing Mitch Green, beating up Mitch Green. Um, Basically, he really one-sided pummeled Mitch Green, and Mitch Green he actually mocked Mitch Green in the fight where he just dodging everything Mitch Green threw. Like yeah, this is prime Mike Tyson right here, just getting under fighters, dodging. Um, this is something a lot of people don't really take into account with Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was an extremely school fighter, very good defense. His trainer literally was Costamato, and something I don't know if people realize in the modern era of boxing, but Costamato is one of the gurus of defensive boxing. Literally, he patented the style again of what Tyson uses on a fighter named Slapsy Maxi, who was this quick moving fighter in the early 1920s, 1910s. I can't remember the exact date. And the reason he was called Slapsy Max is because he had no power, but he was extremely good on defense, so he could win matches. And he, Tyson is extremely. If you think someone with 2 years of training could fight a prime Mike Tyson, and remember, prime Mike Tyson is not going to be 25, 26, 27 years old. Prime Mike Tyson is going to be 18, 19, 20 years old. Mike Tyson won the World Heavyweight Champion before 21. He is the youngest champion ever in the heavyweight division. And the height difference, look at the height difference between Mike Tyson and Mitch Green. Yeah, I know LeBron is tall, but it it never made any difference. Look, Mitch Green with a normal human other person is like, no. And weight wouldn't matter either because Frank Bruno was absolutely huge. And Frank Bruno was like 247 pounds, 250 pounds, and it was just like a one-sided fight. The weight meant absolutely nothing. You could be 260 pounds and you can't punch for nothing. And Mike Tyson just destroyed people because not only did he have the footwork, he had the great explosive power and he was very schooled. He knew how to position himself for the right angles to throw punches and devastate fighters. I mean, look at this. Mike Tyson is just swarming all over fighters. And you don't have to be very tall to punch. That's a complete misconception. I mean, Joe Frazier was what, 5'11", right? Right? Yeah, look, Joe Frazier is 5'11" and 210, 208 pounds, and he drops Muhammad Ali, who has one of the best jaws in boxing. So you don't need to be a super tall, super heavy fighter to punch. So this is a complete joke who's saying LeBron is bigger and stronger. Yeah, bigger and stronger doesn't mean anything because you don't have to be stronger. There are a lot of people who are very strong and very short. So yeah, I do not know what drugs they are on, but this is truly something epically funny that people believe LeBron James would have a chance against Mike Tyson. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. You could only see this crazy stuff on the internet and Twitter. Specifically Twitter. Twitter is like the number one place for human stupidity. Maybe Instagram is like number two. Facebook could be number three. Anyway, that's it. I'm out. Have a nice day, everyone.